What is going on, guys? Johnny on the track here, back with another episode. And this week we got a little bit of a reunion. So this week's guest, Justin Bonsignore is his name. He's part of the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour, which will open this Thursday night at Martinsville Speedway on NBC Track Pass. We've got a loaded weekend in NASCAR, no trucks, but we've got the Whelen Tour Thursday night at Martinsville. We've got Xfinity Saturday, 5 p.m. Eastern time at Martinsville. And then we've got the Cup. They're taking on a Saturday night race, which I think will be awesome. And that's at 7:30. So we got a good week of racing. I'm excited. Again, short track racing at Martinsville, the paperclip they call it. So 2 weeks ago, obviously last week we had the hiatus with Easter. 2 weeks ago, we had short track dirt racing at Bristol. Now we get good old-fashioned short track racing at Martinsville, which always puts on a good show. Seems like every year one of the Martinsville races goes to overtime, and you just get to see a shootout of guys bumping and banging short track. So I'm really excited. So back to the guest, though. So Justin Bonsignore, I won't tell you how, but he and I have actually spoke before. So, we need to catch up on some of the things we've spoke since last time. And obviously, like I said, it's a new season. So we got to check in and see, if he's ready for Thursday. This episode will drop Thursday. So you'll get all fresh content of, hopefully you watch it Thursday and I'll hype you up for the race. We're rooting for Justin. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be exciting. I'm glad to have him back. He obviously wasn't on Johnny on the track, but you'll see and hear how, the first time we met and all that. So I'm excited. So now I'm going to fast forward to that interview with Justin. So let's do it. All right. And we now welcome our next guest to Johnny on the track. He's the driver of the number 51 Chevrolet for Kenneth Massa Motorsports, the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. He's the reigning champion of 2020. That was his second career championship, his other being back in 2018. He's got 29 career wins, tied 6th all time. He was the Rookie of the Year. He was the most popular driver. And, of course, he originates from Holtsville, New York. Justin Bonsignore, thank you for joining Johnny on the track.
Hey man, it's good to be on. It's good to see you again, and looking forward to it.
Yeah, so I actually, in the intro, I didn't tell them, how, but I did say that there's a little backstory to how we met. So I write for my college sports news station, and I was looking at the messages, man. It's all the way back just before Thanksgiving, which is crazy.
I didn't realize it was that long ago.
I know, right? So I messaged you right after you won the championship, and I was like, it's fresh content. So let's set up an interview, and we wrote a good story, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, it was a good time. Hopefully you did good for school.
Yes, we did, which is good.
Very good. Good to hear.
Yeah. So let's get right into it. So the last time we spoke, you said you were targeting Martinsville Speedway. And again, back in November, fast forward now, I believe it's this Thursday, you will take on Martinsville Speedway, which is just a huge, track in NASCAR history. So first of all, just tell me what it would mean to you if you were to win at Martinsville, and then just tell me how it's going to happen. How are you going to make it happen?
Yeah, I mean, it would be huge to win down there at Martinsville. The tour hasn't been there since 2010. We finished second that year. It was actually my rookie year. The series goes back to before the NASCAR inception of competing at Martinsville, and just the history and the prestige behind that event has always been there. And, unfortunately it went off the schedule for a long time, right as I was getting started. So it would be huge to win there. I mean, the trophy itself is a huge grandfather clock, so that would be an amazing thing to have at the house next to the championship trophies, and really looking forward to having a shot at it. As far as what we're going to go do to try and execute on that, just try and do what we normally do. The last bunch of years since my crew chief Rhinestone's been on board, our cars have been just unbelievably good each and every week. The pit crew's been on top of it, just from top to bottom, from ownership to sponsorship. We just have a well-rounded team. So bringing a brand new car this weekend. I've only sat in it, haven't even shaken it down yet. So a little nerves behind that, but I know the guys and Ryan have been working all winter on this car and been putting a lot of hours into it. So we're excited. Hopefully it's something a little better than what we've had, and what we've had has been really good. So we just got to go out and execute, really be the biggest thing. Have a good day, hopefully qualify well, and just have good pitch strategy and just put ourselves in position. And hopefully, when it comes down to it at the end of the race, we'll be in the top 3 or 4 and have a shot to go out and win the race.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was another thing I remember. You told me how bad you're almost making space for that grandfather clock, and you had told me that New Hampshire does the lobster trophy, which they don't give to the tour drivers. I'll have to give a call if I figure a way. But so a lot of the trophies aren't the same. However, at Martinsville, they give that grandfather clock out to anybody.
Yeah, it's one of the few places that you get that type of treatment as far as the trophy is concerned, and everybody's talking about it. Obviously they haven't had one in over a decade, so it would be really cool to figure out a place to put that. Just gotta go out and win the race first, and we'll worry about the trophy after that. But that is what everybody's gunning for. That's something that you'll have for the rest of the time. So it's really cool that the track does that for all the divisions. Really makes you feel welcomed and important. And whoever does win it'll be something they remember for the rest of their lives.
Is there any extra added pressure to the fact that such a big event is first thing on the schedule, or is it kind of just it is what it is? I go out and I'm going to perform no matter what. Tell me about that.
Yeah, it's a little bit of both. Obviously, it's going to be the biggest opening race we've had since I've been on the series. For the most part, we've always opened at Thompson the last few years. Been a little different going down south, but this is like having the Daytona 500 for us right off the bat. Yeah. So this is going to be a huge event, huge car counts. So there's some of that where you're like, man, this is huge, but at the same time, you just got to go out and try and have a good race, because there's going to be there's 40 cars signed up. They start 32. Whether or not they're going to start all 40, you got to have a good day. You can't go down there and do something stupid and finish in the 30s and then put yourself in a big hole for the points. So you just got to go out and be smart and take what the day will give you. If you have a shot to win, you got to go for it, because it's such a big event. But if you only got a 5th place car, you're going to have to try and just bring it home and get yourself off on the right foot for the season.
Yeah, well, absolutely. We'll be rooting for you. And I think that's on Fox Sports 1, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
No, actually, it's on NBC Track Pass, which is a streaming service that NBC offers. You go to NBC Sports Gold, I believe is the website. Just look for Track Pass, and I think it's $20 for the season, and you get all the races live for our division and a couple other divisions. So it's one of the best streaming services out there as far as quality, and the price is extremely cheap for the amount of races you can watch. So it's a great product, and hopefully a lot of people will be watching.
Yeah, we'll definitely be watching, and I'll do whatever it takes to watch. So can't wait for that. So now I want to talk about, let's get a little deeper into the series. You're competing against a guy in Doug Coby, who you and him have kind of dominated the last, let's say, 8 years. And this is a guy who's a 6-time champion, a huge name in the sport. What is it like competing against, an established champion, a guy who will go down and, who knows, possibly make it to the NASCAR Hall of Fame with the, accolades he's built up, in your series?
Yeah, his career, his resume is definitely Hall of Fame worthy at this point, and he's not done yet. So, it's our job to go out and try and beat him. Doug and I have a really good relationship, but at the same time, there's nobody we want to beat more than Doug Coby.
Yeah.
For the past decade now, it's been mainly him, and I've been on the losing end on a lot of those championships by less than 10 to 15 points a lot of times. So a lot of woulda, coulda, shouldas on, maybe we have 6 championships, but that's why we race the races, and he's, him and his team have gone out and performed and been the team that has prevailed a little more than we have. But it is cool to race against them. You're just, each generation has their own, best drivers, and we're just trying to be the best of our generations. Right now he has the stats to hold that, but I like to think I have a little more in my career left. He's a lot older than I am, so hopefully I got some time to catch up to him in the championships status. But there's 30 other guys and that want to go out and do the same thing. So we've been really good these past 3 years. We won 2 out of the 3. He won the other one, obviously. But it's a good rivalry. Our teams push each other. There's a few other teams that do the same with us, but we just want to go out more than anything and beat those guys each and every week, and just be the best in the series if we can.
Absolutely. And it's fun to watch. I mean, it's fun to watch too, like you said, the greatest of right now and in this time in the last decade, your name and his name, and obviously Ryan Priest's name. And you go down the list, and it's fun to watch. It really is fun to watch. So I'm sure, because growing up playing sports, it was the same thing for myself. You knew the guys who were good and the guys that were the best on the team, and it only fueled you to be better than them. So yeah, I mean, can't wait to see that rivalry again unfold in 2021.
Yeah, we're excited to get it started for sure, and see where you just want to see where you stack up against everybody, and
Right.
especially guys like them that have they have the stats that makes you respect them. You don't want to lose to those guys, but you have to respect guys that go out and contend with each and every week to try and be better than them. So that's a lot of what the first race and the first couple races is about, is kind of seeing where you stack up for the season, and seeing what you need to improve on, or what you're doing well, and what they need to improve on, and just try and play that cat and mouse game each and every week.
So how do you think, and I think this is a good segue, how do you think last year, obviously not at all tracks, but some tracks, no fans, and the preparation was a lot different. How do you think that's prepared you for this year? Which, I mean, we're still in the midst of a pandemic, but we're a lot farther along than we were, say, October or summer of 2020. Tell me about how that's prepared you for this year.
Yeah, the fans, you always knew that they were important and you needed them to keep this sport going. But when you kind of take it for granted, I guess is what I'm trying to say, because when they're there all the time, sometimes you're like, just want to race. You don't really want to be bothered, I guess, as a blunt way to put it. But then you go to the first race at Jennerstown, and there's not a single soul in the grandstands, and we win the race, and you get out in victory lane, and it's just silence. It really made it real quick. Like, you just didn't realize it, so much to say, I guess. And then from there, it was just welcoming to get some percentage of the fans back each and every week. And by the end of the year, there was pretty good crowds at some of the races for our series, and it just made you respect and appreciate the fans even more than you already did. And when they come by to say hello, and they buy your apparel, they buy your shirts, they buy all that stuff, it's just it's really humbling, and it just makes you appreciate that they're spending their money that they want to go out and use as hobby money, or spending money to come watch you race and chase your dreams. So more than anything, you just realize that last little bit, like, wow, we really can't do this without the fans. So we're glad that they're back. It seems like things are trending in the right direction as far as the pandemic's concerned. And as the year progresses, I'm sure that the fans will be allowed to come back and maybe feel more comfortable coming back. So we're looking forward to that. Martinsville's got a 30% limit, and they
Yeah.
have 50,000 stands, or seats. So that's more than enough people that would be coming to a tour race anyway. So that's good to know. And once we get back up into Connecticut, it sounds like they have some things that are opening up as well. And hopefully, as the warm weather comes, and states start to open up as we go, it'll just get better and better as the summer progresses. And then by the end of the year, we could hopefully be back to full crowds if possible.
Yeah, I mean, I as a fan appreciate you saying that. I mean, it makes it feel like, we do have a say, and maybe not the outcome, but we do play a part in a lot that goes on. And I'll tell you what, man, last year, and obviously I think I went to 3 or 4 of your events, which, was lucky to be in a situation where I could do that.
Yeah.
Because like you said, there was a lot of tracks where that didn't happen. But the hiatus between that last race, I think it was the tri track race, and now, and being in Boston, where it's tough to get right now into a Fenway Park Red Sox game. It's really tough to get into a Celtics game. I cannot wait to be in the stands on April 25th. We'll be at the Sizzler, and oh man, it's been killing me. Every time I see it on the calendar, I'm just like, I need to be back. And so yeah, I understand where you're coming from, and it's good to hear. So we'll be there and we'll be rooting for you.
That's awesome to hear. And just we can't. The fans have to come spend money to watch us race, so the track can afford to pay our purses. And it's a big circle of everybody working together as an industry. And you really appreciate hearing things like that, and knowing that fans are wanting to come back to the track and wanting to support you, whether it's cheering or booing. It doesn't really matter to us. It's just as long as they're supporting the series, because the modifieds to us are the greatest division in racing. So we just love the diehard fans like yourself that want to come and watch us race and watch put on a show.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And we can't wait. So that's for sure. So I want to go back to, I know we're jumping around, but I want to take it back to your early start. And when I wrote the article, that was something that I myself and my family found very interesting, is how you started racing go-karts at a young age with your family. So talk about that, and everything that prepared you growing up for this moment now.
Yeah, I was born into a racing family. My parents met through racing go karts. My dad and his two brothers traveled a lot and owned a really successful business in karting. And myself and all my cousins and my brother just naturally took to it. And my cousin and I still race against each other today. Kyle runs the modified tour, and we grew up racing go karts all up and down the East Coast, and the Midwest, everywhere, basically together as a big family. All my aunts, uncles, everybody would all travel together, and we would just race as much as we could. And my dad and my mom, and they did a really good job of putting us in the right equipment to be successful. Spend the money the right places, and that progressed into race cars, and we had our own family car, and that was a struggle at times. But my dad always tried to spend whatever money he could to get me more experience and more times. And he pushed me probably way more than I wanted to at times as a kid. But it all paid off when I met, Ken and Janine Massa to start driving for them. And, now 10 plus years later, you think back, and, it's cool that my parents get to come to the races and watch and just kind of, enjoy it. They're not stressing about the finances. They can just come and be fans and take it all in and just kind of enjoy everything that we have sacrificed over the years, and my brother included, to watch me chase my dreams, and they're there, along for the ride. So really appreciative of my parents for how they raised me, and everything they provided for my brother and I, and just kind of try and do the best I can as an adult now to not mess it up and keep a good head on my shoulders, and keep everything pointed in the right direction. So I keep all my crew happy, my owners, my sponsors, just trying to, it's a big oiled machine that you got to keep going at all times.
Yeah, I mean, when I heard you and talk about that and how big of an influence that was, and even the fact that you and Kyle are still, even growing up, racing against each other, and having that battling back and forth, and now take it all the way to 2021 where it's still happening. It blows my mind, and I know it happens. Racing comes with family, and family being supportive, because obviously at points racing is an expensive sport. You need the funding to be in that situation. But again, it was interesting to me of how it all unfolds. And yeah, man, just crazy, right?
Yeah, and I mean it's not just me. It's most families, racing families are the same way, and it's
Mhm.
a lot of sacrifice on a lot of people's parts. So really, one guy can go out and drive the car and chase their dreams, but my dad will probably tell you he lived all of it through me. He didn't have some of the same opportunities, but he just loved being there to watch and be a part of it. And it's the same thing today. A lot of my crew guys, I mean, they're either former racers or just lifelong racetrack guys. And that's what the whole garage is made up of. The just racers that want to be a part of something, and they donate their time and their family away from their family to come help me. And that's it's a really cool thing to be a part of. And it just, again, it makes you feel appreciated, and that people are taking time out of their day and away from their family to come watch you race and or help you race. So it's one big family, and that's the best part of racing, is just the camaraderie and all that amongst each other.
So what's at this point the rivalry like between you and your cousin Kyle?
Kyle and I, he lives out in Wisconsin. I'm sorry, Illinois. He's right on the border, actually. But we don't get to see each other as often. Really just when we're at the races. But we talk almost every day, and we really, during race season, we don't really get on each other too much. We're probably our two biggest cheerleaders. I always want to see him do well. If I can't win, I'd rather see him win, and vice versa. And he's always got my back. I know that. We haven't really raced together heads up too much. A little bit last year, he kind of bounced me off the fence late at White Mountain. But yeah, it's there's the same thing. I want to see him be successful, but I don't want to lose to him at the same time. And I'm sure he'd say the same thing. And but I know how hard my cousin and my aunt and uncle and their whole team works. So you do want to see them be as successful as possible, but not at my expense, I guess.
Well, that's good to hear. That's good to hear that you guys have that nice relationship, even when it could get a little funky
Yeah.
at points.
Yeah.
But so I want to go now to, I mentioned how I'm going to be at Stafford Speedway this April, later the 25th to be exact.
Yeah.
And so 38 races you've raced there, 12 top fives, 25 top tens, but you've never got that big result. So what do you think it is about Stafford that, you know, you haven't got that big break, that big win? And then, you've got 3 dates this year. What do you think you can do differently to finally get it?
Yeah, I think we're really close. I don't have an answer. I mean, if I did, I probably would have figured out how to win there by now. It's just really just having put myself in the right positions when the time comes late in the race. We've won a ton of other tracks multiple times, and
Right.
just we've always kind of come out of the pits in a good spot, and late in the race you're the leader, and it's kind of a little easier at that point. And Stafford uh, didn't always feel that comfortable there since Ryan Stone's come on board, and we've been together. We've gotten better. The first year we were pretty good. The second year, 2019, we probably could have won 2 out of 3. Should have won the Sizzler. Got a call on a restart, just didn't go our way, and then got shuffled out. And then last year we only had the one event, and I felt honestly last year going into the pre-pandemic schedule that 3 shots at Stafford, I said, well, we can get one of them. Our cars are really good there. I thought we were really getting close. And then, we went there at the end of last year, and Silk was really, really fast. We were probably second best. But at that point in the season, we were kind of chasing the points. It was the second last race, and, you just don't want to do anything stupid. And we all pitted, and he got back to the lead just quicker than we could. Stafford's also tough because we run that crazy pit sequence where you can only pit for 1 or 2 tires at a time. So it's not like, my crew, I'd like to think is the best crew on pit road. So a lot of times we can go in for our 1 pit stop and come out. We gain a couple spots. We're the leader, and that's it. At Stafford, there's a lot of strategy involved on how many times you come down pit road during a caution, how many tires you take, what tire you take. It's just there's a lot more strategy involved there, and it's just not as cut and dry. So, and sometimes the strategy just doesn't work our way. But I really think we're close. I would love to win there. I would really love to win the Sizzler. That would probably make it all go away if you can pull the Sizzler out as your first one. But at this point, we'll take any win there.
So, is there does this provide like an extra chip on your shoulder that you go 20 miles east and you've got 10 wins over at Thompson, or I think from like a fan's perspective, it for me it's almost like you've had so much success in the sport, like you said, 2 championships, a second place a year ago. There's always room for improvement. Even the best can be better. To that, what would you say? Like, is that an extra chip on your shoulder? Is it motivation? What is it?
Yeah, I mean, you're always trying to get better. If you just stay the same, guys are gonna just surpass you. For many years we were trying to chase Doug and be, get to his level, and they kind of plateaued a little bit. And we came along with our new team at that point in 18 and just kind of jumped over them, and it made them work harder. And then they jumped back over us in 19 a little bit, and it's a cat and mouse game. And then at the same time, there's 8 to 10 other top notch teams that are trying to do the same thing, and everybody's just working on what's going to be the next best thing, setup wise or thought process wise. So we're always trying to innovate, trying to come up with what might be the next little trick that gets us that half a tenth or a tenth of a second to get to the next level. So yeah, I mean, it's the Stafford thing's tough, but we're just, I used to let it bother me. Now it's like it'll happen at some point, and if not, it is what it is. You just gotta take it one race at a time. And I think it could come this year, but I've been saying that for a few years now.
All right. Well, April 25th, we're rooting for it. I think that's going to be it. I think that's when we're going to see it. So I want to move into something a little different. So I don't know if you saw or watched the race, but last Monday we got to see Bristol Dirt. We got to see the NASCAR sprint cars race for the first time in almost 50 years, 50 plus, whatever it might be, on dirt. So let's take that to your sport. I don't know. I'm a fan, but is that possible to bring that to your sport? Can your cars even handle dirt? What's that? What would that be like?
uh, yeah, I mean, that was a cool event what they did, and it sounds like it's something that'll be a yearly thing for them. As far as we're concerned with the modifieds, they have dirt modifieds, so we
Ah,
we have asphalt mods and dirt mods, so we don't need to do that. There was a guy a couple years ago that did take an asphalt mod and he tested it at a dirt track down south. It looked kind of cool, but I think the expense that would be involved, it'd be about the same as going road course racing for us. There's just a lot of added expense, and as cool as it might be for the fans and for everybody to be a part of it, I don't know. I think you leave the dirt specific cars for dirt racing and let us do our thing on asphalt. But I mean, if they had a race, we'd be there. It's just whether or not it's unofficial. If it's paying points or paying money, it doesn't matter if it's a shopping cart. We're gonna go race it around the parking lot at Walmart. It's just what we do.
yeah, yeah, and that's fair. I agree. I think we'll leave it to what it is, and again, I really enjoyed that innovation, I guess you could say, the sport put together. It was a great event. Obviously the rain took a
Yeah.
little away, but it is what it is. I think they put on a great show, and happy that a guy in New England was able to take one home, Joey Logano, which is always good. So let me. I want to get into one more thing, and it's now a little off the racetrack, but we talked about this, when I interviewed you earlier, and it was how you balance it all, right? So you talk about, you love your dog, and we had your dog barking on before before we started. So tell me how, off the racetrack, what is Justin Bonsignore doing? How is he spending time, away and balancing it all together?
Yeah, it's gotten a lot easier over the years. I'm really fortunate. The race team is based out of Connecticut, so I don't get up there that often. Like my crew, Ryan, and all the guys that are Connecticut based do a really good job of making it easy on me. And from that side of things, it really takes a lot of stress off of me for the Monday to Friday type things. But I work a normal 9 to 5 job. I'm a general manager of a fiber optic company. We're a contractor for a big cable provider here on Long Island. We do fiber installs for commercial buildings, stuff like that. And my boss is a former racer, and that's how I met him. He sponsored and helped us buy our first modified. So he's really flexible with my work schedule. Basically, he doesn't even know when I go racing or not. He just, he knows that my job will be done, and the company's running smoothly. So he's never gives me any headaches about trying to take off or anything like that. So from that side, I think it's also really smooth. From other than that, we're kind of just couch bodies. Me and my girlfriend Taylor, we kind of like to hang out at home and just kind of relax, go see a couple close friends every now and then, go to dinner, do stuff like that. I mean, COVID's kind of changed it even more the last year or so, but we're got our circle pretty small. Spend time with our families. We're both on Long Island, and neither of our families live here, so always kind of traveling for that. But we do so much traveling with racing. You kind of sometimes just want to unwind on the weekends. You're home and just see some of your close friends, go to dinner and stuff like that. Our weekdays now have kind of picked up a little bit. Ken, my owner's son, Kenneth, has got a like an SK Light type car for Riverhead.
Wow.
So we've been working on that a couple nights a week, trying to get him ready for the season this year. He's going to make his debut. So it's kind of cool to get your hands back on some cars. It's been a couple of years, but you quickly remember how stressful it is working on race cars when there's deadlines of races coming up. So it's fun, and it's cool to be back part of the team over with doing that. But other than that, we just kind of hang out and try and be low key.
Weekday fiber optic GM, and then weekend NASCAR champion. So what a life! What a life!
It's not bad. I can't really complain too much.
Right. So last time we didn't do this, but this is something we do on every Johnny on the Track, and it's specific to each guest we've had on. But we always play a game. So at the end, we get the guest, we orient the game to something. We've had pit crew guys on, and one of the games we played is called "Can You Pit It," where I'll give them a list of fictional characters, whether it be, I don't know, Shrek, and they'll have to tell me, can they pit it? And they'll have to give an explanation. So we've done all different kinds of stuff like that. So I'm going to play with you the very first game that was debuted on Johnny on the Track, and it's called Fastest Lap Trivia. And I'll be honest, it's going to be a little tough this week because Martinsville is obviously a short track. So you're only going to get, and here it is to be specific, 18.746 seconds. So let's give you 19 seconds. You're going to get 19 seconds to answer this trivia question. And why is it 19 seconds? Well, that was the fastest lap ever recorded at Martinsville qualifying. So the question is, and hold on, let me get the timer. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
I think.
Right. How are you with trivia? You good?
Not very good.
All
depends what the trivia.
Yeah, I think you'll be. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to say I think you'll be able to get this one, and then we go 20 something seconds and we don't have it. But this one is geared towards Whelen history, if you will. So let me get my timer up. Let's see, stopwatch. All right. So the question is, Justin Bonsignore, the fastest lap ever recorded at Martinsville Speedway was in Whelen Modified Tour qualifying, 18.746 seconds. What modified driver is responsible for this time? Time has started.
Mike Iwaninsko.
No.
Mike Iwaninsko?
No.
Reggie Ruggiero?
No.
Mike Stefanik?
Nope. 10 seconds in.
Richie Evans?
No. One more. Come on.
Teddy Christopher. I really Fleming?
No. All right.
I don't know. I couldn't even pull my phone out and Google it that quick.
Greg Sachs.
Oh, me and a Long Island guy. How did I not know that?
So it's interesting. So Greg obviously had a pretty. Yeah, I mean, he had a pretty good career, and he even won on in the Cup Series. So yeah, that's all right. That's all right. Yeah. I to be honest, I had like a list of like, all right, this is what I think he's gonna say, and you get 4 out of the 5 of the list I had on.
Yeah.
So yeah, so again, we've been doing these games, and I tell my guests this, anybody can bring you on a podcast, an interview, whatever, and ask you all the questions, and you've heard probably the same question asked to you 20 something different times, right? But I think if I can do something like that to get the guests involved and in some
Yeah.
certain way, it brings it's something different.
What you thinking for sure.
Yeah, get you thinking, and that's good. That was the goal of it all. So, like I said, Justin, we will see you April 25th. And hey, you gotta hold me. I'm holding you to the fact that I wanna see the car. I want to try to get in the pits. You tell me what I got to do. If I got to buy a pit pass, whatever.
Yeah, just gotta get a pit pass. We'll have to talk off air. I'm not sure the protocols with COVID right now, but I do know Stafford does sell a weekly pit pass to come in and get you into the grandstands as well. So we'll have to talk about that. Hopefully, there's enough capacity with all the COVID regulations. But yeah, it'd be great to come finally meet you and come see the car and see what we talk about all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And so we're rooting for you this Thursday, rooting for you all season, and we hope you can capture your 3rd championship, which would be awesome. So Justin, good luck. We'll be watching on NBC Track Pass. That's how everybody can watch it. And this has been Johnny on the track. Justin, thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, take care.